2nd, 2025. As usual, we'll give this a few minutes for others to join, and then we'll get started. This was a last minute thing today, so I don't know how many people are going to join, but I figured we would do it anyway. And we have a couple people joining. I don't expect too many people because this was not planned. And John, hello, brother. Thanks for joining. So the reason I decided to do this stream today, just in case people were wondering what happened, and hello there, Otto. We normally do a live stream every Wednesday evening at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern, as well as Saturday afternoon at 12 o'clock noon Eastern. And in case people were wondering, the reason we did not do the stream this week is because YouTube put me in timeout for a week, and I was no longer able to respond to comments, to upload videos, to post comments or post videos for a week. And my timeout ended this morning, and I know that there's a lot of people that look forward to this live stream every Wednesday and Saturday, and being that they prohibited me from being able to post messages, I was not able to post a message saying we will resume next week because I was grounded. This is, I don't know where they come up with their rules from. I guess they really just don't like gun channels. I posted a video last week, and it was no different than any other video I've done. And they told me that I violated community guidelines, which is very, very vague. I did not promote the sale of an item. But whatever reason, they got their panties all in a joint, and they gave my channel a strike. And I was put in timeout for a week, which ended today. However, the strike does last until January 23rd. So being that it lasts for 90 days, I have to be super, super careful of videos that I post. And T-Song, yes, I am from New Jersey. I don't like to admit it anymore. I left that communist state 7 years ago for the great state of Tennessee. But we were in Bergen County, Elmwood Park area. I grew up in West Patterson. I will not call it Woodland Park. And it was a great state to live in until the liberals destroyed it. Yeah, it's funny. Most people ask where I'm from. They're not sure. They, I guess, assume I'm from the New York area. But yeah, originally born and raised in the communist state of New Germany. I lived there for 50-something years. Tennessee is not woke. Don't listen to all of that bullshit. This is one of the most gun-friendly states there are. There's no firearms ID card. There's no purchase permits. You just go to the store and you buy your gun. There's no magazine capacity. You can open or conceal carry without a permit anywhere except for a government building. It's too much shit on the internet. I got to tell you, the the stuff on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram lately are just. It's almost like AI. You just don't know what to believe anymore. But I could tell you from living here, it is probably one of the most gun-friendly states there are. Unthinkable Vibe, how are you today, brother? Again, for those who just joined and were wondering why we didn't do the stream last week, it's because I was put in timeout by YouTube. I wasn't allowed to post, upload, stream, or do anything for a week. They just don't like gun channels, I guess. I did a review that was no different than any of my other ones, and apparently they decided I violated community guidelines, so they put me in timeout and they gave my channel a strike for 90 days, which doesn't end until January 23rd. So I guess if I get spanked again, the next punishment is 2 weeks. And if it happens 3 times within 90 days, they just take your channel down. Jorge, welcome, brother. What exactly is woke? Woke is basically liberalism. The woke agenda is pretty much anything that the liberals want to support. So Tennessee is in no means a woke state. We are majority Republican House and Senate. We pretty much have very, very lenient gun laws. So, yeah, I have a buddy of mine that lives in New Jersey that's constantly regurgitating shit that he hears on the internet. And yes, like healthcare, like everybody gets a trophy. But again, I have a good friend of mine that lives in New Jersey that's always telling me about Tennessee gun laws that he heard, and I'm like, dude, I live here. Don't believe the stuff that you see on Facebook. But anyway, I also want to thank all the people that have subscribed to our channel. In January, we only had 1,000 subscribers, and we just hit 7,000 this week, which is pretty impressive for a channel that's so small like this. My goal is to have 10,000 by the end of the year. That's probably not going to happen, but you need a goal. So anyway, I just wanted to thank everyone that has subscribed and supported the channel, because we are growing. And the good thing about growing is I get contacted by more and more companies to review their products. So that's probably another reason why YouTube constantly monitors us now. Is when we were a lot smaller, nobody cared. You know what, Denny's? I don't believe anything anybody tells me. Not only Fox, I don't believe any news anymore. Everything is fake. The good old days of Walter Cronkite just reporting what happened are long gone. These news anchors now, for some reason, are compelled to inject their opinions and personal beliefs. It's, I don't know. It's almost like all news is fake. The media is horrible, and they're promoting. I mean, the hostility in this country is really instigated by the media. Um, just like all of the gun laws, the media makes up a lot of uh, fake information regarding firearms. Um, but back in the day, Walter Cronkite used to do his job. And the job of an anchor is to just say what happened, not their personal opinion. Now, when Kyle Rittenhouse was acquitted, I remember Maria Shriver on TV saying, I can't believe they just acquitted a murderer. That is not her job as a news anchor. Her job is to report the facts. The fact was he was acquitted. So there is no more journalism anymore. No, Jorge, it isn't. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm, believe me, I'm as pro Second Amendment as they come. But we do know that the system is broke. We know that there are people that own firearms that shouldn't own firearms. But, every system is broken. And I don't know what the answer is. Nothing is going to be perfect. But, we still, under the Constitution, have the right to keep and bear arms, even though the government keeps trying to take it away. What I found interesting is that the Supreme Justices now are supposed to hear cases on whether people who use marijuana can own a firearm. And I haven't heard it yet. And it's going to be very interesting because even though marijuana may be legal on your state level, it's still illegal federally. So if you get a medicinal marijuana card, on the federal level, you cannot own a firearm. Now, I don't know why the same doesn't apply to people who drink every day. But I think the only way they're going to be able to fix this is to legalize marijuana on a federal level. Because if it's legal in your state and your company requires you to take a drug test, you could still lose your job. And if a cop pulls you over, you can still get arrested and go to jail for being under the influence. So they're going to have to make marijuana legal federally first in order to say that people who use marijuana can own a firearm. We got to try something to keep the kids safe. We're tired of school shootings. Yeah, I agree. Unfortunately, every time there's a school shooting, it really does push our gun rights back. And I'm all for the Second Amendment. Don't get me wrong. And I don't know the answer. And hello, Don. Thanks for joining. Some things are broke, right? And they're going to be broke. We know that there's some people that own firearms that shouldn't be able to own them. But you know what? There's people that drive cars that shouldn't be able to drive. There's people that were issued CDL licenses that aren't even American citizens and can't read or write. So it's not just firearms. G3RB 377. Yeah, well, as far as that goes, that's another problem. The CCW license needs to be recognized on a federal level, not a state level. That is never going to happen in our lifetime, ever. And the reason for that is that the liberal states are going to continue to do whatever they want, right? But here's the problem. The problem is that your driver license will allow you to drive in every state, okay? And driving is a privilege, it's not a right. But yet, the right to keep and bear arms is a right, not a privilege. But yet, your right to carry, depending on the state you live in, could end at your front door or your border. If you have a permit to carry in your state, just like your driver's license, you should be able to carry in any other state with that same license. But that needs to get done on the federal level, which is never going to happen. And welcome, Ted. I'll answer you in 1 second. Because the liberal states are going to still do whatever they want to do, right? Even if it's on a federal level, the liberal states are going to just ignore it. They're going to tie it up in court, and they're going to they know they're going to get sued, but they don't care. They're going to just tie it up in the court. So, unfortunately, even if on the federal level you can carry in every state, we already know the liberals are going to do whatever they want. And Russell Brown, welcome. D, Trump forever. Yes, sir. Taco Flacco Love. Well, you can carry in New Jersey. Well, hold on. I just saw the Pennsylvania. No. Unfortunately, the communist state of New Jersey does not have reciprocity with any state. So, if you have a New Jersey carry permit, you can carry in New Jersey. But I live in the great state of Tennessee. New Jersey doesn't honor any state. But, you could thank the liberals. Not too late. People in New Jersey, go out and vote for Citarelli. You already saw what the liberals are going to do. Anyway, I apologize if I miss your comments. They do scroll by very quickly, and it's hard for me to see them. And if I don't acknowledge you, that's not intentional either. Ted Collins, sorry, brother. I wasn't planning on doing this live stream today. I released a video last week that YouTube told me I violated community guidelines. So they put me in timeout for a week. I wasn't able to post messages. I wasn't able to stream. And it really bothered me because I know on Wednesday and Saturday, people were going to wonder why there was no live stream. And they took all my rights away. I couldn't even post a message saying, we'll resume next week. So today, they finally removed that suspension. And I figured I would do a live stream, no matter how few people are on it, just to get the word out. So that's the only reason I did it today. So we will be back on schedule next week. Well, actually this week on our normal Wednesday night. And back to next Saturday as usual. No, it doesn't depend on what I say. They make up their own rules. I did a product review that was no different than any other. And they just gave me a strike saying that I violated community guidelines. But it is what it is. Anyway, for those of you that are new to our stream and our channel, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the subscribe button. Our channel has grown a lot, so thanks to those who have subscribed. We finally just hit our 7,000 subscribers. It's funny. Brother Adrian's not here today, but I was speaking to him last week, and he has a gun channel as well. Now, this is some funny shit. You can't make this up. He did a review where he shot a frozen turkey just to do a ballistic test, right? And they took down his video and told him he violated community guidelines for promoting violence and cruelty to animals. Um, it was a frozen turkey. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Um, they just don't like gun channels. Um, but anyway, we are back, and now the problem is that I have to be super super careful of what I do between now and January 23rd, because if I get a second strike, they ban me from 2 weeks, and if I get 3 strikes within 90 days, they just take your channel down. So, yep, we do love our toys. I got to tell you, I just got done reviewing a firearm today. I didn't post it yet. And this is the CZ-AL1LD. Man, let me tell you, if you're a CZ fan and you think that the Shadow 2 was awesome, man, this AL1-LD is just a phenomenal gun. I also just got a backpack to review, which I'm putting together. And this is awesome. This backpack is a military grade ballistic protection backpack. It's got steel plates inside. And Jabba the 809, welcome, brother. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, I agree with that, Barrow 4. You know, and the problem is they took down 2 of my videos that are like a year old that they approved. So I guess they have people with way too much time on their hands. I mean, we're not promoting violence. We're just reviewing products here. But that's okay. We still fight for our Second Amendment rights every day. Um, Part of the contributions we get goes to groups to help support this. That CZ that I just reviewed, that is a competition gun. That gun is awesome. Yes, I am promoting freedom, and that's probably going to be illegal too. And thanks, Jebediah. I appreciate that, brother. I try my best to have relevant content and do as much as I can to support the Second Amendment and make people aware of, new gun laws and gun bills that are in process, because I check every day, and you know everybody does not check every day. I want to know about gun laws in every state, not just mine. I sign petitions for every other state, not just mine. Um, and Mr. Incognito, no, I am not a veteran. Uh, we support the veterans, we love the veterans, but I am not one. Well, fortunately, I work for a very gun friendly company, and I am allowed to carry at work. Um, Jeff, the Smith and Wesson. I did a review on the Smith and Wesson M&P FPC 9mm, and I'm very impatient. Um, and 10mm is one of my favorites. And if I would have waited, they just came out with it in 10mm, and I'm probably going to buy it too. I disagree, and I'm not going to get into politics like that. Yeah, that Smith and Wesson um, 10 millimeter carbine is just awesome. Um, Unfortunately, I am a small channel. I don't get a lot of income, so the little bit of revenue I do generate is what I use to purchase firearms. Um, uh, Sorry about that, Paul. How do I feel about micro carry pistols? They're awesome. I have the Springfield Hellcat Pro. That is a micro compact. However, uh, even though it's a micro compact, um, it has the same features as a full duty weapon. When I got mine, it was 15 rounds. Now it's 17. Um, it's very easy to conceal. I like it a lot. I agree, John, but let's keep this firearms related. Um, that's the only rule I have here. Um, this we do this stream for you guys, right? This is to debate, and I don't care if we have arguments as long as they're civil, but as long as it's firearms and Second Amendment related, that's fine. Um, I agree. If you want to help us buy more guns, because I'm a small channel, I can't afford to buy guns every week uh, out of my own pocket. So uh, if you want to help support us, subscribe to the channel, watch our videos, share them, like them. The more they get pushed out, the more revenue we earn. I know a lot of you people have been supporting us lately during the streams by uh, purchasing live chat stickers. That helps tremendously. Um, anyway, I apologize again. These comments scroll so far. All right, Jeff. I'm going to make this short about the 320 because this gets beaten to death like a dead horse. I'm still a huge fan of the SIG P320. I have three of them. I have it in 9 millimeter. I have it in 45. I have it in 10 millimeter. And I've had them for a long time. I appendix carry, and mine have never shot anybody. Um, I'm still convinced that the majority of the negligent discharges uh, regarding the SIG P320 are from holstering and unholstering from law enforcement, who, by the way, in my opinion, as a instructor, are the worst people when it comes to handling firearms. Um, unless you're Alec Baldwin, guns just don't go off. Paul, I personally, I'm not a fan of Kimber. Um, I've always wanted a Kimber 1911, and a few years ago, I bought a Kimber Custom 2 1911, and I had it for about a month, and I hated it. It jammed like every fifth round. Um, and I know there's a break-in period, but I just got so disgusted with it that I traded it in, and I wound up um, buying a Colt uh, government model, their Competition Plus, and I love my Colt. I personally would never get a Kimber because of that. That's just me. Um, I realize it's just like any other gun or a car. You can get a lemon. It just, when I do get a bad one, I won't go get another one. So I just personally am not a fan of Kimber. Um, Unfortunately, it's the same thing with the SIG, right? I mean, there's a lot of people now that are just never going to buy a SIG. they may never recover from this. Um, it's just too bad because uh, I still think it's a great gun. But anyway, Bear 04, TSUS. TSUS is an awesome quality gun. Um, it's budget priced, but there's nothing budget about the quality. Um, it's it's a better quality than a Rock Island. I have a TSUS. Um, the TSUS tank is probably like $299. Um, and it's an awesome gun. I have no problems whatsoever with a TSUS. Let's see what else we get. And I'm glad, even though we're getting a lot of morons today. That's good. Um, thanks to Brother John for helping moderate. Um, that's a good sign for the channel. Every week we get more and more idiots and instigators. Um, and I guess that's a sign of us growing. Um, when we were very small, nobody cared. I just find it funny that liberals and anti-gun people have nothing better to do than to join my live stream every week. So um, I'm impressed. And, you know, there's a lot of other things they could be doing, but all these liberals that live in mommy and daddy's basements choose to join my live stream. So thank you for that. Uh, I don't I don't polish anything. I mean, I'll be honest with you. A lot of my guns, I just oil them. Some of them, I don't even clean that often. Um, I don't have any safe queens. I actually use and carry all of my guns. Yes, it is our Second Amendment right. However, um, the liberals, for some reason, apparently have never read the Constitution. Um, we are running a little later than normal. We normally don't do these streams on a Sunday. I decided last minute to do it today only because I was banned uh, and I wasn't able to communicate it to people. I do see that we have a bunch of new people. Uh, so if the people that are new to this stream really want to help support us, please subscribe to our channel, like our videos. Uh, you can purchase super chat stickers to help support us. Um, all of the firearms that we review all come from the revenue we generate here on YouTube, which is not a lot. But anyway, we do these live streams every Wednesday at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern, and we do them every Saturday at 12 noon Eastern. Um, and like I said, I just decided to do it today. I didn't even expect anybody was going to join it. Venner, my opinion of Hellcat Pro, probably the best micro pistol out there. I have a Hellcat Pro. When I bought it, it came with 15 round magazines. Now it comes with 17 round magazines. It conceals better than almost any gun I know. Matter of fact, I carry at work, and I am not in law enforcement, and I use the Hellcat Pro because it conceals so well nobody ever knows that I'm carrying it. Um, I carry every day, mostly open carry, but there are times that I do need to conceal carry and make sure that it's deep concealment, like at work. And if that's what you're looking for, the Hellcat Pro is awesome. And another one that's just like that is the Savage Stance RX. I like Rugers. Rugers are built like a tank. I bought my Ruger 1911. Oh God, we're gonna go over this again with the open carry. Uh, you know what? I'm so sick and tired of seeing people crying. Why are you open carrying? You become a target. And it's just such nonsense. I've been open carrying for years. And let me tell you, the criminals are cowards. They're not going into a store looking for people who are carrying to shoot them in the head. I open carry because it's my right. Right? Now, I don't do it anywhere, okay? You do need to have situational awareness, and there's times that I do conceal carry, and I conceal carry if I'm in an unfamiliar area or if I'm in a neighborhood that's suspect or if I'm at work. But if I'm in an area I'm very familiar with, like where I live, it's very rural, I open carry, as do a lot of people. I'm also a fat guy. I don't want to be fighting with my belly and my clothing. If I need my firearm, I want to be able to get it. It's just, it amazes me because the gun community is so divided on that. I can't tell you how many gun groups I belong to where, the people that conceal carry criticize and just regurgitate the same bullshit that everybody else says about you shouldn't open carry. But the people that open carry do it because we want to. And we understand that situational awareness is required. But we don't ever cry at the people who conceal carry and say, you should open carry. I just think it's silly. And to me, everybody that's legally allowed to carry a firearm should be carrying a firearm. I don't care if you open carry or conceal carry, as long as you're carrying. But again, criminals are cowards, okay? They don't want a confrontation. A criminal's not going to confront the person that's carrying a firearm. And I guarantee you, there were probably a lot of times that I may have been a victim, but wasn't because I was open carrying and the criminals saw I was open carrying and they go on to another victim, right? It's just like I teach the NRA Refuse to Be a Victim program, all right? If you walk in public with your head held high with confidence, a criminal's not going to attack you. They want people that appear weak. And if you carry a firearm, whether it's open or not, you don't appear weak, and they're going to go on to somebody else. There is no data that suggests how many people had their guns taken away from them because they were open carrying, or how many people got shot in the head because they were open carrying. I'm just not buying that nonsense that it makes you a target. There is no data, and trust me, I'm a data analyst by trade. There is no data that suggests that people will get shot because they're open carrying. If you can carry, carry. It's all about situational awareness. If you're going to go into a neighborhood you're not familiar with, maybe you shouldn't open carry, right? You just need to use common sense. That's all. Just like anything else. I carry every day, but depending on where, will depend on how I carry. So, but to say one is right versus the other is just stupid. And another thing is that a lot of people that conceal carry think they're concealing. It could be because I've been around firearms for over 40 years and I'm an NRA instructor. There's a lot of people that walk around and they think they're concealed carrying and they look like a horse's ass because their gun is printing and they're not fooling anybody. You know what? If you're going to do that, you may as well blatantly open carry, because you're not going to fool anybody when you're printing, and it looks stupid and it's insulting to people's intelligence. I'd rather open carry than to make it look like I'm an idiot because I think I'm fooling you. But anyway, I digressed. Um, the main thing is, if you can carry, you should carry. I don't care how, just do it. Uh, Again, people that are new to this stream, it is quarter of the hour. We will end it at 3 o'clock. No, I think you're missing the point, Nathaniel. It's not that anybody gives a fuck about the print. I'm just saying is that people that think they're fooling everybody and think they're concealed carrying, um, they're just fooling themselves. I just don't care how you do it. Just carry every day. That's all. Also, depending on the holster and the gun belt you're using, almost anything can be concealed. And I see we have more assholes joining, which is great. Um, you know, I'll get to you 1 second, Polwick. Paulie Walnuts. My problem with a shoulder holster is that from the ones that I've seen, it doesn't seem like the firearm is ever pointed in a safe direction. They're kind of always flopping like this or up and down. I'm just not a fan. Paul Wick, do I have a favorite firearm? All of them. The one I'm carrying for the day. Unfortunately, I own so many of them. It's just very difficult for me to say what one I like best, because there is no best firearm. Good one, Ozzy. Good to see you again there, Ozzy. Well, not only that, Steve, I still don't think a shoulder holster, for me, I think it just violates the rules of gun safety. There is just no safe direction for that muzzle. But people like them, people carry them. I'm just not seeing it. I mean, to me, that's almost like women that carry a firearm in their purse, right? That's also never a safe direction. Contents moved. When they put that purse down, they never know where that firearm is going to be pointed. Yeah, and you know what, Paulie, maybe it all comes down to how you set it up and configure it. I was given a couple shoulder holsters to review, and they just didn't work for me, and I wasn't able to position them properly. Maybe if you take your time, you can do it, but it's just not for me. No, purse carry is, as a pistol instructor, makes the hair stand up on my neck when I hear or see women carrying a firearm in their purse. It's just, way too easy to have an accidental discharge with all the crap that's in there. They never know what direction firearms pointed in. It's too easy for kids. Women have to put their purse down, and now if somebody steals their purse, they get a gun with it. And if you're going to do that, use a shoulder sling bag like the 945 Industries. That bag has got a holster made for your specific gun that's Velcroed into the bag, so you always know where it is. But a purse is just a horrible idea. mean, if you're gonna carry off body, a sling bag maybe, because you never have to take it off. But well, that's what I'm saying. If you get the 945 Industries, it actually has the holster built in. But I mean, a purse itself, and a lot of these companies like Hiding Hilda, um, they're just making they're just making money. Everything is called tactical now, and concealed carry. These concealed carry purses are really no different than any other purse, except that it's got a pouch to put their gun in. That doesn't make it a concealed carry gun. So, 1911s are not a pain in the ass to clean, Kyle. I can blindfolded disassemble my 1911 in about 30 seconds. Matter of fact, I think 1911 is the easiest to disassemble because a 1911, every 1911 disassembles the same way. I'm not a fan of a fanny pack either. How do I feel about grip and trigger safeties versus manual? That's a great question, Steve. I'm a huge 1911 fan. So all the 1911 have manual safeties. I when I carry a 1911, obviously, because that's where the term cocked and locked came from. Matter of fact, you can't even engage the safety on a 1911 unless you pull the hammer back. But on any other gun with a thumb safety, I'm not a fan of safeties. I will not buy a gun with a safety. And if the gun I'm buying comes with a safety, I don't use it because now there goes your muscle memory. Now you got to remember you're carrying a gun with a manual safety today that you didn't carry yesterday. And you have to remember you have a safety now. So I just don't use them. You know what? The safety is just keep your damn finger off the trigger. 1911 is awesome. It's been around a long time, hence Pro Gun 45. I love the 45 ACP. I just purchased the Springfield Emissary, which is probably now my favorite 1911. My Colt Government Competition Plus was my favorite, but I got to tell you, that Springfield Emissary really is a tactical gun. Again, I want to thank everybody for joining this last minute stream today. I wasn't planning on doing it. Those who are new, please subscribe to our channel. I'd greatly appreciate that. Comment, share, like our videos. The more our videos are liked and shared, the more revenue we generate. Frankie Harley, would you carry a 1911 hammerback? Yes. The 1911 is meant to carry cocked and locked. That's where that term came from. One in the chamber, the hammer back, and the safety on. Matter of fact, you can't even engage the safety on a 1911 unless you have the hammer pulled back. It is perfectly safe because you also have the safety on the back strap. But yes, if you carry a 1911, should be one in the chamber, hammer back, safety on. But other than the 1911, I am not a fan of manual safeties on that. On the 1911, it's hammer fired. I get that. The Judge is a fun gun there, Matthew. Thanks for joining. I used to have the Taurus Judge Public Defender polymer frame. I wound up getting rid of it only because the 45 Colt and the 410 shotgun shells were too expensive, and I just don't like having a gun I can't afford to shoot. Haters gonna hate. Thanks for joining. Again, everyone that's new to the channel, please subscribe. I'd appreciate that. And I'm really appreciative for everyone that joined us today, because today wasn't even a scheduled chat, a scheduled stream. So again, I appreciate that as well. And Barrow 4, you have a great one too, brother. Thank you for joining. We are going to end this stream in 6 minutes. So if anybody has questions that they would like to ask, now's the time to do it. And yes, Bear, please join us again. It was great having you. Vaquero's an awesome gun. Little too expensive for my price range, but I agree with you, Paulie Peanuts. 357 is a great caliber. I own a lot of 357 Magnums. I bought the Colt Python Combat Elite this year. I have the Smith & Wesson 686. I'm probably going to get either the Ruger GP100 or the Colt King Cobra. And I also want to get a lever action 357 rifle. I always wanted a lever action rifle. And because I have so many 357s, I'll probably get a lever action 357 to use with all my 357 ammo. Kyle, there's a lot of good pump action rifles, but honestly, to me, semi-automatic or lever action is the way to go. Lever actions are just extremely popular right now. I always wanted a lever action. I own a lot of 357 Magnums, so to me, a lever action in 357 Magnum just makes sense. I do have it narrowed down to 3: the Smith & Wesson 1874, the Marlin, now that they're owned by Ruger, and the Henry Big Boy. So it'll probably be one of them, but the channel still needs some revenue. I can't afford to purchase them all out of my own pocket. Every firearm I purchase is purchased from the revenue I generate on this channel by all of the videos. So that's a good question, Paulie. I don't really think the action matters for a suppressor. I really don't think the action matters. I think a lever action would be ideal for it. Bolt actions are great as well. But I mean, for what the suppressor was intended to do, I don't think the action really, I don't think the suppressor has any effect on the action. Yeah, well, you know my feeling on the 40. You might as well just get a 10 millimeter. You can shoot 40 caliber out of the 10, and that's why you reload. I just reloaded 5,000 rounds out of 5,000 rounds of 10 millimeter. They're giving 40 caliber away because 10 millimeter has made such a huge comeback. I agree. The Schwazag, nobody's shooting 40 anymore. They're going with 10. It's like you buy a 357 Magnum revolver because it's like getting two guns in one. You could shoot 38 special and you could shoot 40 out of it. It's the same thing. You want to shoot 40 caliber, buy a 10 millimeter. Even if you never plan on shooting 10 millimeter, if you want to, you can. Anyway, those who just joined, Sorry, this chat is ending now. We don't normally do it on Sundays. Um, we do this chat every Wednesday evening at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern and every Saturday at 12 noon till 1. Today was just impromptu. Like I said earlier, YouTube put me in timeout for a week, and I just got out of YouTube jail today, so I just decided to do this. So, anyway, we'll be back to our normal schedule Wednesday. Thank you all for joining. Even the liberals that live in their parents' basements, thank you as well. You make it entertaining. Special thanks to our moderators and everybody else. They put me in timeout because they claimed I violated community guidelines. Anyway, thank you all. Appreciate your support. Love you all. And we'll catch you next time.